This Friday, Bayern Munich will hope to retain their spot at the top of the Bundesliga table as they head to Greuther Fürth. Bayern Munich are the heavily favored team going into this matchup, and we might see an offensive masterclass. Welcome to Talking Bayern, the one-stop shop for Bayern Munich content on YouTube. Today we'll be doing a match preview of the match against Greuther Fürth. They are obviously a newly promoted team to the Bundesliga. I think it's our second time ever being in the Bundesliga, so they're obviously a bit of a weaker club, not a top side, and obviously a side I did not expect to get promoted last season. But Bayern right now, top of the table, are 4-1-0 after 5 games, so 13 points, still undefeated. But as I said, we're playing a much weaker side this Friday. And for this reason, I'm hoping to see a less strong squad for Bayern. It is, of course, a road game, so we will not be playing at the Allianz Arena, but I'm still expecting us to get all 3 points. So for my expected lineup this week, I'm going to go with Neuer in goalie. This is more me hoping than anything, but I do hope we go with Omar Richards at left back, Upamecano and Hernandez at center back, with Stanisic at right back. In the midfield, I expect Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, and either Thomas Muller or Marcel Sabitzer. Personally, I would love to see Marcel Sabitzer, but we still have not seen him get that first start, so who knows. And then at top, we have Gnabry, Musiala, and Lewandowski as my picks for our 3 attackers. So for my prediction for this win, I do think is going to be a dominant win, even with major rotation. If we do play those players that I did hope we do play, such as Omar Richards at left back, I still think it should be a dominant win. We didn't rotate much last week against Bochum, which I was a little bit disappointed to see, just because we did beat them 7-0. We didn't need all our best players in the lineup, especially with the Champions League and Poco coming on now. I do think we should be resting some players. And I'm sure Nagelsmann is going to be doing some rotation this week, especially with some Champions League games next Wednesday. A player to watch out for this game will be Serge Gnabry, who I expect to start in the matchup. He's been scoring so far this year. I've been liking what I've been seeing of him. He obviously scored a few nice goals already this season, but I do want him to restart himself as one of Bayern's top 2 wingers. We all saw how good he was in the Champions League a couple years back now, so I really hope we see that out of him again in the future. There's definitely been some glimpses of that this season, but as I've said, Leroy Sané is starting to pick up form, and obviously Jamal Musiala is playing spectacularly, so I do expect Serge Gnabry is going to have to step it up if he wants to find his spot in one of the star positions. He'll obviously still have a role, regardless coming off the bench, if that is kind of what Nagelsmann is leaning towards, but still, I think he's going to compete with Leroy Sané and Musiala for one of those 2 starting positions. Just some interesting stats for this matchup. So Fürth have played Bayern 4 times in all competitions. They're still winless against us. They did 1 tie and 3 losses. They also failed to score in 3 of those matchups. So they've only scored twice against us across all competitions in those 4 games. So as I said, a much weaker side. And Bayern have only lost one of their last 48 Bundesliga matches against newly promoted teams. So 44 wins and 3 draws and 1 loss against newly promoted teams. So obviously I do expect us to come home with a win regardless of all circumstances. It'd also be a bit of a disgrace if we did happen to lose this game. So I do really think we should be getting a goal here. And Bayern have scored 3.2 goals per match in these 48 Bundesliga matches against newly promoted squads. So it should be a very, very dominant win. In addition, Greuther Fürth have lost their last 3 matches and are winless in the last 6 matches across all competitions. So they've been really struggling since being promoted, and I'm sure they will be relegated this season. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see them at that 18th place spot. So Bayern now, with 13 points, they could start the season with 16 points if we do win this game. So that would be 16 points in the first 6 games, and that's really the first time we've done that since 2016-2017 season. And probably the most interesting side of them all is that Greuther Fürth are still without a win in 19 games in the Bundesliga. They have never won a Bundesliga match at home. So no team has done that. Obviously, no team has played as many home games in the top flight without ever winning. So yeah, that's kind of a crazy. So that's obviously their second time in the Bundesliga now, and they still have not won a match at home, which is a pretty bad stat, if I'm being honest. Obviously, I do expect a win, so I'm not expecting a too close of a match, but I am really looking forward to seeing some rotation, as I said, seeing some more players, hopefully like Omar Richards or Stanisic again, and seeing those players back in the lineup I think would be exciting to see. So I do think it's going to be another exciting match. Hopefully we stay on top of the table by the end of the week. I'm sure we will, but can never be too sure. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to subscribe and help support the channel. Really appreciate all the support I've been seeing on the channel recently. That wraps it up for today. Until next time, Mia Samia.